Hi everyone, Adarsh here. So today we're gonna see now. Earlier we have seen how we can create a Angular basic application with the unidirectional binding of model object. So in this tutorial we're gonna see how we can do a bidirectional model binding of a model Angular model object. So this is also a web application based on the Maven. So all these are the regular things: group ID, artifact ID. Packaging is a war because we are creating it as a web application. So war file is there. Then organizational tag, licensing tag, developer and properties. We have project name, JT version, and then so here what we have done, we have just downloaded the JT embedded JT container. Then the build, this is a war file name, output directory, resources. Then inside the plugin we have regular Maven compiler plugin, and this is a JT server related configurations. So let's jump into the code. So this is a web application. Inside that we have bootstrap related CS, and we have bootstrap related JS files. In the library we have angular.js, jquery.js, and we have app.js file where exactly the Angular code is written. So we have a web.ini file. Inside that web.xml we have just defined the welcome file list here as a index.html, and then we have a index.html and app.js. So we'll start from the app.js. We have just defined the Angular module with the my basic Angular application root, and we have not injected any other module. That module reference we have stored in the variable, and then on with that module reference we are creating a controller, the name of my app controller, and we are injecting a scope here. And then we have defined a model object like first name, last name, and Angular message model object, and in that we have defined the corresponding values. So same thing how we are accessing into index.html. This is a ng app model related reference. Then we have mentioned that this body is tied to my app controller, which we have defined in the app.js. In the header section we have imported a angular.js, app.js, bootstrap related JS and CSS files, and then we have defined a certain div elements, and then followed by bootstrap container and all. So this inside this expression we have defined a Angular model object which we have specified in the app.js file, which contain a message of welcome from Angular. And then we have a form here. We have couple of input boxes, which so first input boxes we have bind with the first name, and second input box which we have bind with the last name. So already we are setting a initial value in the controller itself, and again we have binded that value with the input boxes, and in the next div element we are just printing those model object with a concatenation. So let's start this application and see how it looks like. This is the first time execution from the Maven, so that's why it is downloading Maven dependencies for JT server. Gonna take couple of seconds. All these applications we can directly open in the browser. That index.html need not to start the server, but I want to prepare a web application with a systematic way so that we can include servlets or Spring MVC or any other REST framework like Jersey or whatever we have REST specification. JAX RS specifications framework. So here we can see that server started at 9090. So what we can do, localhost 9090, and we can, so this is how our application looks like. So this is a message coming from controller, and this is the first name what we want to type, Adarsh, and the second name Kumar. So the moment we start entering the value in the text box, it is binded to the model object, and immediately that model object is evaluated inside the expression, and we are getting the result immediately on the page itself. So that's how we can create a bidirectional binding of the model object in AngularJS application. So this code I'm gonna save in my GitHub repository, where angular.js. So all the code related to AngularJS gonna sit in https github.com /Adarsh-Kumar-Singh83/angular_js. So all my applications, you can pull it from there and play around with that. Till then, bye, take care.